There's a settlement in a high-profile Dallas police shooting, and when all is said and done, it will cost Dallas taxpayers more than $1 million. 6 years ago, Kelvion Walker was shot by then Senior Corporal Amy Wilburn. Walker was unarmed at the time. I-Team reporter Brian New joining us live with exclusive details on the agreement. Brian?
Brooke, on Wednesday, the Dallas City Council will vote to pay Kelvion Walker $610,000 in damages. This is on top of the hundreds of thousands of dollars the city has already spent over the past 6 years on outside lawyers. But the I-Team found this is not unusual for these lawsuits to get tied up in the courts, costing you, the taxpayers, millions of dollars.
The police dash cam video from that December day shows Officer Amy Wilburn and her partner in pursuit of a reported stolen vehicle. The driver then jumps out and runs away. Meanwhile, Wilburn rushes up to the moving car where inside 19-year-old Kelvion Walker is still in a seatbelt, unarmed, and according to an independent witness, has both of his hands up.
I'm just looking at her coming around, and then it just happened that fast where she just opened the door. And then I'm just like, what you shoot me for? As soon as I look down and I see smoke coming out of my body.
After multiple surgeries, Walker sued the city of Dallas. This week, the city will pay Walker more than $500,000 to settle the case. But reaching the settlement did not happen quickly or easily. The city fought the case for 6 years, spending more than $620,000 on outside lawyers. The CBS 11 I-Team found this is not unusual. Dallas is currently involved in more than 30 unresolved police misconduct lawsuits, many that have been tied up in the court system for years. In 2017, a Dallas officer fired 13 times into a car, killing 21-year-old Genevieve Dawes. The officer was fired, and the Dawes family sued the city. Nearly 3 years later, the lawsuit is still pending.
Oh, you're gonna kill me. I'm not gonna kill you. You're gonna kill me.
In 2016, Tony Timpa called 911 for help. When Dallas officers arrived, they mocked him and pinned him to the ground until he became unresponsive. Timpa's family sued. More than 3 years later, this lawsuit is also still pending. And then there's the case of Dana Cook.
I don't think she deserved to die the way she died, and that's just my opinion of it.
In 2012, her family filed a lawsuit against the city after her murder. Cook was choked to death by her ex-husband as a 911 dispatcher listened, and police officers took almost 50 minutes to respond. The family's lawsuit was tied up in the court system for 7 years before a judge in February dismissed the case. Last month, the family lost an appeal. The city of Dallas will not have to pay the Cook family a dime, but the case did cost Dallas taxpayers more than $355,000 in legal fees. In the past 5 years, the city of Dallas has spent more than $7.4 million to settle dozens of police misconduct cases, and another $2.4 million in attorney fees to fight them.
Now, while Dallas has spent more in recent years to settle these cases, experts say they don't believe that means officers are now behaving worse. Brooke, what you probably noticed in all these cases is body cam. Experts call this the video effect. They say now that there is video, it is easier to prove some of these misconduct cases.
You know what I can't help but thinking about, though, other cities, what are they seeing? So how does Dallas compare to similar-sized cities?
Yeah, so several large cities across the country are paying millions of dollars in these police misconduct lawsuits. Fort Worth has spent far less than Dallas, but still broke more than $2 million in the past decade.
A lot to think about. All right, Brian, thank you so much. And if you have any tips or questions for the CBS 11 I-Team, you can always get in touch by email. The address is iteam@ktvt.com.